Hey guys, this is Trevor Probant. This is the Land Investing Dirt Road to Wealth podcast. We're doing a solo podcast today, and we're going to call this It's Just the Numbers, Idiot. Okay? And what the heck were we talking about? We're going to talk about pros and cons of doing big deals, the pros and cons of using leverage, and the realization of what's going on in the market today, right? And it's just the cost of the money. Same thing that happened in 2021, 2020, 2021, 2022, when everyone was the smartest land investor ever. You made money hand over fist. It had nothing to do with the dirt. It had nothing. It had nothing to do with the dirt. It had nothing to do with your skills. It had nothing to do with anything. To sell out 2,424 acres in 9 months, right? It was still a good property. It was still going to sell. But the cost of capital is what made it what it did. Okay. And when you have 3+ times percent of cost of capital now for buyers, it's not your ads. It's not your anything else, right? It's just the cost of capital. It's math. It's not super secret anything, right? Good quality products, good places, right? But there's a difference. There's a big difference when it comes to the actual cost it takes to buy anything. We all know this. Some people get in their feels when a deal takes longer to go or not. Right? They wonder what happened. They wonder if they are good enough. They wonder whatever. It has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with the cost of capital. You don't have to take it and like it, but you're going to freaking take it. It's not your Facebook post. It's not your anything. It's just the cost of capital. Let's do a little exercise, shall we? We're going to play with two different examples of properties, right? We got a $97,000 property, a little 10-acre tract. We have a $400,000 property, a little 100-acre tract, right? Using the 20% down, 20-year amortization schedule, all that, right? Like we normally do. For $97,000, right? You're going to use $19,400 in down payment. At current interest rates, give or take 9-10%, we're going to show up with $748.86 a month in payments, right? That's principal and interest. That's not taxes, anything else like that. The 5% interest, which is closer to what a normal rate is $512.13. Okay. The delta between those two is $236.73. $236.73 a month. Okay. That allows people to buy properties and not hurt their overall dollars, right? We don't buy anything with equity flakes. We don't buy anything with rate of return. We buy them with dollar bills. So $236.73. Let's think on that. Okay. Now we have a $400,000 parcel. The same 20% down is going to get us $80,000 down. Again, about 4 times, right? 200 or 100,000 versus 400,000. About 4 times the down payment. And then this is what gets interesting here too, right? At a 5% interest rate, you're at $2,111.86 PI. At 10% is $3,088.07. The delta between the two is $976.21. Nearly $1,000 a month and $60,000 more in down payment. Just like anything else, it's hard to find buyers for that, especially right now. Okay. We all know that. So what are you going to do about it? Right? There's only a couple different ways to do it. You're going to take longer to sell it, to find the right buyer. You're going to figure a way to owner finance it. Right? You're going to find an investor to come in and owner finance it. There's multiple different ways. You're going to wrap it if you're using leverage, or what you're going to do is you're going to drop the price. So I've been working my ass off to find alternative ways to dispose of these. Right? In order for us still to speed up the disposition of these, I have to make the investment more attractive, which means usually a lower down payment where they can keep more of that money in their pocket to make more of that monthly payment. So I've been having meetings with family offices. I've had meetings with large institutional investors. And I'm going to get there. I'm not going to sit around waiting for something to change. People that sit around waiting for things to change are the ones that will be out of this business. You heard me. You'll be out. You'll be gone. Maybe that's a good thing. And I'm not going to sit around and wait. I hope you don't either. So, what does that actually mean when it comes to value add games, force appreciation, things like that? Right? It means getting even smaller and dealing with higher density properties, right? They can add a lot of value to. They're going to take a lot of CapEx, and they may even take longer to sell. Or you're going to go back to the cheaper stuff. Cheaper stuff makes me want to shoot myself in the face. But it makes money. I receive no joy out of cutting a 40 into 410s. But it pays the bills today. Right? There is, I guess, a time to reap benefits. There's a time to put your head down and hustle. And there's a time to try to move the chess pieces on the board. I'm trying to do all three. I keep getting put back into this circle that I've kind of built around me. But you'll never get anywhere new. You'll never learn anything new. You'll never be exposed to anything new until you put yourself into new group situations, things like that. And that's true in everything, right? How can I plan to be a much better hockey player, right? If I don't hang around with people that are much better at hockey than me? How do I become a better elk hunter when I'm not constantly trying to figure out ways to become better? There's no tricks, right? There's no tricks to any of it. I think if you can keep your payments down that $1,000, give or take, 1,400, 1,500 tops for, again, good quality product priced correctly, I still think it moves fairly easy. Maybe you can find cheaper capital on your side, right? Maybe you do more partnerships, but you're not on the juice the entire time. Maybe you don't deal with banks anymore, right? Maybe you're willing to give up a percentage of equity in order to sleep at night. These are all things I think about 24/7. And these conversations that we're having are going pretty well. Because what we do is makes money. But the heyday of turning stuff and making 300% and yada, yada, yada overnight is over. Unless you want to work your ass off. There's still people that do it. I'm going to have a guy on that's out of Holland, Dimitri, that's a killer, but all he does is wholesale and flip. He also cold calls and by himself for hours on end every single day. It all works. But here's the thing. Competition has found us, right? You can't just send the same number of mail. You can't just do the same things over and over again and have the same expected rate of return when there's more people in the pool. Doesn't mean that you can't make more money than you've ever done, but you have to understand that the game has changed. And that's true with everything. Talked to a buddy of mine that runs John Deere place out here. They couldn't get inventory forever. Now they can't sell any inventory. The yard's full because the prices have gone up and the cost of capital is way high. It's like, man, we're just standing here looking at each other. How long that takes to run through the process all the way across the board, right? Go drive by your local car place, right? Overall prices have gone up. They're not coming down because the people have already bought them, right? The car dealerships have already bought these properties or these products at a higher price. They don't make a lot of money on new cars anyway, right? There's now Ford, Chevy, Tesla, whomever has to pay more for their hands, for equipment, for raw materials, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to have a giant slowdown, even more. Whether something breaks or not, I don't know because I'm not that smart. And here's the thing about it. Neither is anybody else. But it's not going to stop me from constantly finding cheaper and cheaper capital. More realistic capital, more patient capital every single day. Because finding deals is not hard right now. Finding capital that understands what we're going through is a real pain in the ass. So I'm going to do it. Suggest you do it too. So, have a great day. Before you jump into anything, understand what your costs are going to be, especially any kind of value add stuff. It's going to take more money. It's going to take longer. And so you're going to have to understand what your real costs are going to be and your real profits and timelines. You can go broke trying to hit home runs. Believe me. So, have a great day. Talk to you soon.